Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel, and before I introduce anyone else, I was really just enjoying that song. I could have let that go for a while, to be honest. I forgot that I had to cut it, so I should one day just cut it where I want it to, and that's the whole drop. But it's a pretty good song, pretty catchy song. I've got everyone with me today. We've got Brian, we've got Sherman, we've got Slothy. Slothy, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing not too bad. It was a very busy week. Had some classes I had to take. How about you? How you doing?
Oh, not so bad. Busy week for me too, but finally starts to slow down a little bit. I'm hoping. I say that every week, and then it just doesn't slow down every week. We'll get there. But yeah, no, it's good. I was brewing a lot of decks. The Karlov Manor stuff came out for everyone who's tired of spoilers. Now it's deck lists, and the brewing has been kind of crazy. So I'm out of sleeves. I'm out of soul rings. My mana rock thing's down. I don't have like any diamonds anymore. No moss and pearl diamonds. What am I doing? I got to go stock back up again. And Sherman, how are you doing?
Doing good. Really excited. We're recording on Chinese New Year, so excited about that.
Happy Chinese New Year to everyone.
Yeah, happy Chinese New Year to everyone. Year of the Dragon.
Yeah, dragons. Woo!
Oh yeah, that's right. Brian, you're a dragon.
Yeah. Fair. And Brian, how are you?
Oh, I'm good.
That's good.
I'm an interesting some big life decisions happened this week, so yeah, I'm interested to see the fallout of my decisions.
You're having a baby, right?
Yes. No, the ghost of Jen is not pregnant.
Yeah, the ghost of Jen. Yeah, no, it's been a good week for everyone. So I hope the decisions go well. I hope Chinese New Year goes well, and I hope everyone's doing well at home. Let's jump into my silly list. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
I did also want to say that we are also joined with Thunder, and with that, with the new year, I thought I would quickly get a quick announcement out of the way.
Oh yeah.
So we are switching up some of our Patreon tiers. We are going to be opening up a free tier for people to come join us on the Discord. The changes haven't gone live as of yet, but I wanted to at least announce it and get a little bit of hype out there for it. So if you want to talk Magic and everything, come in, check out Patreon. You can find a free tier, join us. And with that, I wanted to say huge thank you to our supporters, Thunder Emperor Command, Calvinist Prime, Strange Ronin, Tanner Cherry, and Whipsaw. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. And also, yeah, if you do come over there, great time. If you don't, like, share, subscribe. It does help out. Call to action early in the show. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Now, back to what it is. This week is Duskana, because I couldn't wait another week for Duskana. And I told everyone I'm not giving them the deck list. This is my Bears deck. I was excited, obviously, like any Bear commander I'm brewing. Brewing Bears is my name. We've got Duskana, the Rage Mother. So Duskana is an awesome card. 2, 1 red, 1 green, 1 white for a 5/5 legendary creature bear with beautiful artwork that I'm in love with. When Duskana the Rage Mother enters the battlefield, draw a card for each creature you control with base power and toughness 2/2. That's a really cool ability because we don't generally get draw stapled onto a Naya commander, right? That's not the colors. That's a powerful ETB. It's a really big draw. And it's base power toughness, so we don't have to worry about, oh, well, I gave it counters, or, oh, it's got an anthem. We only care about the base power toughness 2/2 in this, which is really interesting. That lets you go the morph mechanic way. A lot of the bears are 2/2s. It's awesome. And whenever a creature you control with base power toughness 2/2 attacks, it gets +3/+3. So every extra attack we get, if we go an extra combats route, we can just constantly get that +3/+3 anthem. It's a big commander. So I'm just so in love with every part of this commander. The draw is a lot bigger, even just in initial testing. The draw is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, and yeah, this is just a really cool commander. And with that, let's go ahead.
Bears,
the Rage Mother.
So before we started recording, Daniel said that he didn't tell us the price for it. And we all guessed the price because he said it was a little bit above what he would consider a budget.
Yeah.
So
this was not a budget.
I haven't looked at it yet. but
550.
Yeah, Brian guessed 550.
Brian said 550. Thunder said 450. Flossie said 375, and I said 325. So, Daniel, how much is it?
331.88. Yeah, Sherman.
Oh yeah.
331 is
Slothy should have went 350 and split the difference.
Yeah. 331. So it's not going to be a cheap deck to build together. There's going to be a lot. I'm already trying to get people to pull me extra Duskanas because I have a few other lists I want. But yeah, let's jump into this one. We'll do our artifacts first, and I'll take us away with the first one. Just a simple arcane signet. We just want to ramp a little bit. 2 mana. You tap to add 1 color. Easy enough.
And then, Brian, do you want to take it?
Oh yeah, I ran into technical difficulties already. 1 second here.
All right.
The next one's Boros Locket. It's a 3 colorless, red and a white. All right, you can tap it to create a red and a white, or you can tap a 4 Boros hybrid to sacrifice the Boros Locket to draw 2 cards.
Okay. Then after that, we have the Decanter of Endless Water. I love this card so much. It's 3 mana. You have no maximum hand size, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color.
It's such a big draw engine. I feel like it's really, really understated how many cards you can draw with that ETB.
Mm-hmm.
So we need no max hand size, and mana rocks are always good.
Yeah. Then we've got the Selesnya Signet, 2 mana. You can pay 1 and tap it to add green-white.
Yeah. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
We've got a Soul Ring as well, because a Soul Ring, it's very rare a Soul Ring doesn't make it into the list, or I don't have any Soul Rings. Whoops. But
I've run into that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, right. And then I'll take our last one here. We've got this Thought Vessel, the Starfish Samurai himself. 2 mana, you have no max hand size. Tap, add 1 colorless. Great. We're looking good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, nice, easy artifact section. Let's skip all of this creature section. Let's keep it going right down to the enchantment.
Ooh. All right.
Sure.
I'm
Right.
excited to
Take it
hear that
away.
you have enchantments in here. Just skip me for a meal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Sherman.
I will take it next then. We have, oh man, extra combats. Aggravated Assault for 2 and a red is enchantment. So for 3 and a red, untap all creatures you control. After this, there is an additional combat phase followed by additional main phase. Play this ability only anytime you could play a sorcery. So you're definitely going to extra combat route from the looks of it.
There's some extra combat. It's not that route though. Sloth, you take our next one.
Sure. The next one we've got is Ayula's Influence. 3 green. You can discard a land card to create a 2/2 green bear creature token.
I love this card.
We're gonna be drawing so many like cards that throwing a few lands away is not really gonna matter, and getting some extra 2/2s is gonna be nice. We've got a nice huge if we're running attacks, Beastmaster's Ascension. 2 and a green, whenever a creature you control attacks, you put a quest counter on it. As long as it has 7 or more quest counters, creatures you control get 5/5. So a +8/+8 with our commander out is pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, your CMC so far is really low. I like this.
All right.
I was going to get
Just
jump
wait.
up.
Sherman, take it away, please.
I said so far.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
It's a surprise for me. All right. It's like Christmas.
It's a surprise for all of us. Yeah, so take the next one away, Sherman.
All right. We got Blessed Sanctuary for 3 white. We have it. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and creatures you control. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white unicorn creature token. Nice.
Again, we just really care about those 2/2s. I'll hit this next one too. We've got a Felidar Retreat. Nice and easy, 3 and a white. It has landfall. Whenever a land enters, you choose one. We create a 2/2 white cat beast. So again, more 2/2s. Or we anthem, put a 1/1 counter on each creature that we control. They gain vigilance, and again, that's not going to mess with our commander. So, Slothy.
Yeah. Then we've got the Flowering of the White Tree. Double white for legendary enchantment. Legendary creatures you control get +2/+1 and have ward 1, and non-legendary creatures you control get +1/+1. This is a phenomenal card.
It's such a good card.
What an anthem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some protection. The nice thing about this as well is that we don't really care about so much protecting the commander, because if you kill my commander, you just give me my draw option back. So go ahead and kill it, and then I'll just draw my 10 cards again, right? 10 cards in Naya is a lot. That's and having 10 creatures out isn't crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Sherman.
I'm gonna quickly apologize to everybody with the video. But everything is fixed now. Please, Sherman, take it away.
All right. We got Garruk's Uprising for 2 and a green. When Garruk's Uprising enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you get to draw a card. Your creatures have trample. Ouch. And when a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card.
Yeah, we're not going to trigger that draw too much, but that trample is important.
Mm-hmm.
All of our stuff being
all
of our stuff being 5/5s is big.
Yeah.
Brian, since you're back, you take the next one, please.
Oh, why thank you. So the next card that we have here is Nahiri's Resolve. 3 red-white. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have haste. At the beginning of your end step, exile any number of non-token artifacts and or creatures you control, and return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of your next end step. Check, please. I need one of those.
Yeah, right. It's a pretty good card that kind of went a little under the radar, but that's like a mass teleportation circle. A mass Conjurer's Clause is pretty good.
Yeah, I was really excited about the Selesnya Angel that came out, and that's that. Yeah. I wasn't looking Boros.
That's well, it's not really an effect you normally find in Boros, right? But Anthem, Haste, and Blink, that's everything we want.
It's everything you love.
It's a pretty cool one. Sherman, you want to take this next one?
Yes, Wild Pear for 4 and a green. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, you may search your library for a creature card with the same total power and toughness and put it on the battlefield. If you do, shuffle your library. I love this card. It's so good.
2/2s.
Well, you can get 2/2s, but if you have something that's like a 1/3, right? That's a total of 4. You can go get a 2/2 with it. I really, really like how Wild Pear works. It's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then our last one that we have in the enchantment section is Words of Wilding, which is going to be one of our best cards in this deck. It's going to be one of the ones we want on the field all the time. 2 and a green. You can pay 1. The next time you would draw a card this turn, you put a 2/2 green bear creature token into play instead. So we've got so much ability to draw. Let's say we have even 5 of those out. Nahiri's Resolve, so that we can blink our commander end step. We just pay 5 and we get 10 more power, which turns into 5/5s when we're playing. That's good. That's good stonks.
That's real good.
That's gross.
Yeah, and it's also something that can stop us from decking ourselves, which is a very high possibility. We can hurt ourselves.
No one dies from being decked out, right? Right.
Let's hit our instants, because they're kind of pseudo protection if you think about it. I'll take our first one here. We have Acrobatic Maneuver. 2 and a white, exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control and draw. This I'm looking at like a draw 5. This is a draw 5 at 3 for this deck.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I always enjoy these spells, the protection.
The blinking.
Mm-hmm.
Slavi.
Then we've got Cloud Shift, single white, exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. One mana, draw 5.
Nice.
Sherman, you know this one yet?
We got Eerie Interlude for 2 and a white. Exile any number of target creatures you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. This is such a powerful card.
You know how hard it was to find this card? I had I did have to actually order it because none of the stores had it. Probably because Daniel has. Look at him. Look at the glee on his face. I got nibble.
I like ETB. I always buy all the ETB cards. I couldn't find a slip on the ring for this deck, but that's another really good one. If anyone has slip on the rings and making a deck like this, it's just another great one. Brian, take the next one, please.
Yes. So the next one I really enjoy is because I have a nice little foil one for my blank deck. It's Ephemerate, 1 white, instant. Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, and it has rebound. Ooh.
It's a lot of draw. We really need that no max hand size in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ghost. It's a ghost line. He's there, he's not there. Now I understand why those lions killed everybody in that movie when I was a child.
What are you talking about? What movie?
Oh, there. I guess explicit memory from Brian's past. I remember there's a horror movie that like these guys were out in the African jungle, and there was like a pair of lions that like stalked the camp and massacred everybody.
I remember that movie
lions.
now.
Yeah,
it's like Ghost in the Darkness or something like that, or
right. That's that lion.
Yeah.
I was looking at the next card, and I thought you said lines. Why the lions killed everything? And I was like, what lions killed everything, Brian?
The Ghost in the Darkness.
Yeah, with like Michael Douglas or something like that, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
man, that brings back memories.
That startled me for a good time.
I watched Talk to Me yesterday. That was a pretty good movie. Kind of freaky one.
Talk to Me?
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
No, just a horror movie and stuff. It's on Netflix, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, if anyone ever has good horror movie recommendations, by the way, I love watching horror movies. So
no wonder you don't sleep.
No, that's the horror movies aren't the reason I don't sleep. I love a good horror movie. Like I used to always take Halloween off. That was like the only day I'd ever want to be off work, so I could celebrate and watch horror movies and stuff. It's a little fun fact. This deck is kind of similar. Bears are terrifying. Horror movies are terrifying. So anyways, our next one we have is Naturalize here. 1 and a green. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. I feel like I've got to at least put 1 in. I've got to have 1 or 2 removal spells in a deck because I every game can't have everyone else. And this one, when you've got such a threatening commander, it's a lot harder to politics, right? Like usually when you're behind, it's easy to politics. This is not a deck you're going to be able to politics. You got so much draw. There's no politics. It's only the rage mother.
Only gas.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Return to Dust, 2 double white. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast a spell during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment.
And then we have the Semester's End for 3 and a white. Exile any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of the next end step, return each of them to the battlefield under its owner's control. Each of them enter to the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it is a creature, if it's and an additional loyalty counter if it's a planeswalker. That's pretty strong, actually. Like, you're going to target everybody's stuff?
I know only ones you control, but again, you can save your whole field and then bring them back bigger.
Which is nice.
I like it. And
like
again, for us, our protection is working as, again, draw. Aggressive instant speed draw, too.
He brings them back angrier.
Exactly. And then, Brian, you want to take our last instant here?
Sure. So we got Soul Partition, 1 and a white. Exile target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast.
I like Soul Partition. You can still have it back. It's just expensive. There's nothing really to write home about in the land section. It's all just basic stuff that taps for 2. I've got some Battle Bond lands. Reliquary Tower is the only one we really care about. And Rith's Grove is a really fun layer to play. It enters sack unless you return a non-layer you control to its owner's hand, and it just taps for your colors. I like that one. But nothing crazy in it. You can do basically anything you want with the land section. It is a big portion of the deck. It's like $82. But that's because I've got some shocks in it and stuff. And
yeah, the shocks and the battle bonds. You do have Jetmir's Garden too. It's not the Triome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the land base you could bring down a little bit, but it's not going to be horrible.
Indoor into sorceries first?
Yeah, into sorceries, yeah. Cultivate, I put an evergreen deck. There's no surprise here. This is just how I build. It's just there's more efficient things like Nature's Lore, all that. But again, I don't care. I like a cultivate. It just reminds me of the good old days. So cultivate.
I always forget to get Nature's Lore, like to go and ask if they have any, like, because it's not like, to me, it's not a unknown or a well-known ramp card.
Well, there's better ramp, right? Like there's always going to be those really good like 2-mana ramps, but I just don't have a stockpile of them because I have too many decks. So I got lots of cultivates though. Lots. Actually, I think I'm down to 2, but I usually have lots collectively.
Alas.
So you search your library for up to 2 basic lands, reveal them, put one onto the battlefield, tap the other into your hand, then you shuffle. Again, nice, easy color fix.
Then we've got some Farseek, 1 in a green. Search your library for Plains, Island, Swamp, or Mountain. Put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle.
I love Farseeks.
Yeah. Brian, you take this next one.
I don't think I've ever seen this next one. We got interesting, and I haven't seen this. 4th Aerolongagus?
Aerolingus? I don't know.
Aerolingus?
You're supposed to be the Lord of the Rings guy. You know this.
4th Congolingus. We got X and a red and a white. Create X2. Oh, this is going to be real good. Create X2/2 red human knight creature tokens with trample and haste. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to one or more players this turn, you become the monarch.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
A sword day, a red day, the sun rises, or the sun rises, ride now, ride to Gondor.
Yeah, you get it. I thought you'd like that one. I said Words of Wilding is one of like the best cards in the deck. The next one's my favorite card in this deck, and I want Sherman to take this one for me because I think he'll love it.
All right, we got Kamal Summons. 3 in a green. Each player may reveal any number of creature cards from his or her hand. Then each player puts a 2/2 green bear creature token into play. Which card he or she reveals this way? Oh no!
That's a cool card, right?
This is a card I would use, hands down.
Super cool card,
agree.
right? And then the other thing,
it's from Legion, the greatest set.
The other thing too is that it's that's a lot of creatures, right? We've got so much draw that a lot of times we're going to be holding a mitt full of creatures. And spoiler, the majority of this deck is creatures, right? So being able to just like show what's in our hand and be like, here's like 10, and I'm going to make 10 2/2s is a really cool card. It's one I want to get a bunch of copies of, actually. I found it while I was sorting just in piles maybe a month or 2 ago. And I was like, this is a really, really cool card. And there's a lot of decks I want to play this, like Adrix and Nev decks love something like this, you know?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of bears. A lot of cool bears. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the bears, we have our last instant in sorcery, which is going to give us some bears. Titania's Command. It's 4 double green, and you choose 2 of these modes. Exile target player's graveyard. You gain 1 life for each card exiled this way. It's not really what it's in the deck for, but it's a good mode if we need. We search for 2 land cards, put them on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So this is going to go fetch us our Reliquary Tower, which is what we care about. And then any other card, maybe Jetmir's Garden. But then our other modes we have create 2/2/2 green bears, which is awesome. That's wonderful for us. Or put 2/1/1 counters on each creature you control, which is another huge, huge bonus. Like this is a card that's really going to do a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Versatility on this.
4 bears.
Making all your 2/2s attack for 7 each.
Yeah, right? Like they get pretty big. And again, it making even more of them if we don't need that land ramp. It hosing like a Muldrotha deck is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Now there's before we go into the creatures, there's basically I've got two sections of creatures. They're all in one. We've got bears and we've got what I'm calling the bear cubs, which aren't technically 2/2s, but they are bears. So
Rage bears.
yes, to the bear section now. Brian, you can start us away.
So we're starting off with an alms collector, 3 and a white. Creature cat cleric flash. If an opponent would draw 2 or more cards, instead you and that player draw a card. It's a 3/4.
Yeah,
This is such a salty card.
alms collector. Yeah, alms collector's rough. Bear cub. Slothy, the next one, please.
Sure. We've got Archetype of Courage, 1 double white for a 2/2 enchantment creature, human soldier. Creatures you control have first strike, and creatures your opponents control lose first strike and cannot have or gain it.
That's really good when all your cards turn into 5/5s.
Mm-hmm.
Especially facing like anything with Death Touch. I hit you first.
Yeah. We have an Archivist of Ogma. 1 and a white for a halfling cleric with flash. It's a 2/2. Whenever an opponent searches their library, you gain a life and draw a card. So that's it. Any fetch land, any tutor. Really, really like that card.
Do you remember when this card first came out? It was like a $40 card.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good card. I wish it was widely available because like if this was around the $1 area, like it would just be such a good card to slot into like a white, like any white decks, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
If you think how often people search, even like when I'm cultivating, right? I search for a land, you draw, gain a life, draw a card. I fetch land, you draw. It's really, really good. The ceiling on it's really, really high.
All right. So we got this is from Warhammer. Atan Lan Jackal for 1 red and a green. Creature human Tyrannid Scout for a 2/2. It's a trample haste. It has skilled outrider. Whenever this card deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on a battlefield tap, then shuffle. Interesting.
Solid little
I like
2/2,
that.
right?
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't have a single Warhammer commander deck, so I haven't seen these.
You missed all those
This
ones?
is a really cool card.
Yeah, right. Like it's a nice little inclusion in the 2/2 slot, right?
Too expensive for my blood.
Brian, please.
So next up, this should be a masterpiece one. We have Aven Mind Sensor, 2 and a white. Bird Wizard Flash Flying. If an opponent would search a library, that player searches the top 4 cards of their library instead, and it's a 2/1.
Bear
Such a
cub.
good card.
Bear cub.
What salt level is this? Hang on.
Don't look.
Oh my
Don't
goodness.
Don't look, please.
Oh my goodness. Your salt sum is 42.
What's it out of? Like, what's the max?
Of like 100, but like no one gets to 100, but the average is like 30, like 33 to 36, right? I'm like, oh my goodness.
Nah, don't even worry about that. This is a bear deck. The name of this deck is This is a Bear Deck. So the next bear in the deck, we have Bane of Progress. 4 double green. It's an elemental 2/2. It does hit.
God.
It does. Hey, it's a bear deck. It's a 2/2. It hits our bear margin. When Bane of Progress enters, you destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Put a 1/1 counter on Bane of Progress for each permanent destroyed this way.
You're an animal.
Don't forget, you have Blink in this deck, so he can blink the Bane of Progress.
Don't even worry about that. Don't even think about that.
You are a terrible human being.
Then we've got the Collar of the Claw, 2 and a green for a 2/2 elf. Looks like a bear to me, with flash. When it enters the battlefield, put a 2/2 green bear creature token onto the battlefield. For each non-token creature put into your graveyard from the battlefield this turn.
Great insurance. You board wipe me and get rid of my bears. More bears.
Nice. We have after that
God.
Sorry?
I said, oh God.
Next question. I'm still going over the salt level in my head.
Don't worry about it. Don't even think about that.
Next, we have the charismatic conqueror for 1 and a white. A vampire soldier, 2/2. It has vigilance. Whenever an artifact or creature enters the battlefield, untap and under an opponent's control, they may tap that permanent. If they don't, you create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. Wow.
Great card. Great card. Real banger. Definitely deserves to be $17. It's a good card.
I don't think I got one.
It's a really good card.
It was only pre-con?
We have a Charming Prince. 1 and a white. It's a 2/2. When it enters, you choose one. Scry 2. You gain 3 life or exile another target creature you own. Return it to the battlefield under your owner's control at the beginning of the next step. So even if somebody does, like, for some reason, take our Rage Mother, we can take it back because it's own, not control. It's a great card. Brian, please.
The Rage. So we got Collector Oof.
It's another bear.
One creature Oof, not bear. One in a green. Activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated, but we do have base power 2/2.
It is. It's a bear.
Looks like a bear with mange, if anything.
This next one is one that might actually come out of the deck because it might hose us a little bit. But the next one's a Containment Priest. It's 1 and a white for a 2/2 human cleric with flash. It is a bear. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to have that one in here.
It's
I can see how that would hose you a little bit.
But again, we don't care, right? Duskana going back to the command zone is still okay for us.
Then we've got the Deep Gnome Terramancer. 1 and a white for a 2/2 gnome wizard with flash. Has Mold Earth. Whenever 1 or more lands enter the battlefield under an opponent's control without being played, you may search your library for a plains card, put on the battlefield, tapped, and then shuffle. Do this only once each turn.
I have this guy, I feel.
It's a great card.
No.
Oh, speaking of great cards.
Yeah, Daniel's
It's
like,
a bear.
I don't like this
It's
guy.
a bear cub. It's a bear cub. And it is fetchable with Wild Pair. That's why Wild Pair's in the
deck. Okay. So I stopped
it's bear
because we're at Dranith Magistrate. For 1 and a white, it's a 1/3 human wizard. Its ability is your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Technically bear cub, not bear. It's not a 2/2.
Daniel.
Yes.
Why? You said that you absolutely hate this guy.
I do.
Yeah.
I do hate it. Yet I'm building a bear deck. It's Duskana the Rage Mother. Rage is in the name, Brian. How can they not be hate bears? I didn't say what kind of bears the deck was. This is a bear deck. Please take our next bear, Slothy.
Sure. We've got Eidolon of the Great Revel, double red for a 2/2 enchantment creature spirit. Whenever a player casts a spell with mana value 3 or less, Eidolon of the Great Revel deals 2 damage to that player.
Pretty good. Pretty good card.
Pretty good, yeah.
Brian.
Have a nice foil one script.
There you go. See? Take our next one, Brian.
We have Aether Sworn Canonist, 1 and a white artifact creature, human cleric. And each player who has cast a non-artifact spell this turn can't cast additional non-artifact spells. 2/2.
It's a bear.
Wow. Oh
God, no.
No.
Amazing.
No.
This is fantastic. All right, Dan, I see where we're going.
You see the vision? You see the okay.
I see the vision.
Sherman, please.
And in all honesty, I'm a little bit jealous that I didn't think about this first.
Sherman, please, our next bear.
We have, unfortunately, Gaddock Teague for a green and a white. It's a Kifkin Advisor. It's a 2/2, so it's a bear. But non-creature spells with converted mana cost 4 or greater can't be cast. As well, non-creature spells with X in their mana cost can't be cast. I really, really hate this card.
This
It's
thing
like,
hoses all of Sherman's being. I'm
oh,
surprised
it's like
Sherman
playing
hasn't
against.
poofed right yet.
Just burst into flames.
Yeah.
It's like
I've
between
been
this and Void
unsummoned.
Lord. Oh my goodness, this hurts. This hurts me.
We have a goblin and Archomancer. See, nice friendly deck. 1 red, 1 green for a 2/2.
A nice friend. Whoa, timeout.
Nice friendly deck.
Timeout.
Nice friendly bear here. You can pet this one. This is a 2/2 goblin shaman. Each spell you cast that's red or green is 1 less. Again, nice, just little bring us down. Get our commander a little faster, right? That's all we want. Nice friendly game. Speaking of friendly games, Slothy, please, the next one.
I would love to. Grand Abolisher. Double white for a 2/2 human cleric. It's a bear. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments.
Let's keep in mind as well. We've been talking bears for a few minutes here. Let's keep in mind that when this garbage swings, it swings as 5/5s.
Yeah.
You ever been bashed with Gaddock Teague? Nope.
It's not just salt. Like, take the salt mine. Like,
Nothing salty here. Sherman, you want this next one?
I just want to point out that, Daniel, you mentioned that you get targeted a lot for good reason.
Hang on. I said, if anyone wants to hit rewind, I said there's no politicsing this deck. You are not making a single thread with it. I said it. It was a nice little hidden piece, but there's zero politics happening. You're not going to be able to make friends playing this deck. You need to understand that you are playing the table with this deck. This is sliver deck level salt on the table for sure. You're fighting everyone. You can't politics your way around what you're doing. These are bears. This is a bear deck, but this is not a bear deck that makes friends.
the thing is, so this deck will be able to politics once.
These are all like these are all 2-drops. You're not politicsing past turn 1.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, Daniel. You could politics once until the table figures out what you're doing.
You all should have known where this was going when there's no howling mine. The rage.
Oh boy. All right.
In all honesty, I'm still surprised that there's not enough for artifacts. Get that ramp going.
Oof turns them off. So does Bane of Progress. So does our other bear. Our bears eat these.
Oh man,
please, Sherman.
That's
please.
very true.
All right. We got Grenzo Havoc Razor for double red. 2/2 Goblin Rogue. It's a legendary creature, and whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, choose one. Oh my goodness. Go target creature that player controls. Or you exile the top card of that player's library. Until the end of turn, you may cast that card and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast this spell. Oh my goodness.
Personally, I'm just on a bear quest with this.
That's a bear.
Yeah, I'm just searching for other bears to join my noble cause. If I think your deck has 2/2s, then that's who I'm, because it's not whenever one or more, it's whenever a creature. So we just swing all our 5/5s in, and if we don't end up killing them, we exile like 5 cards.
So the next card that we do have is Harsh Mentor, 1 and a red. Human Cleric Bear. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact creature or land on the battlefield, if it isn't a mana ability, Harsh Mentor deals 2 damage to that player. Fight through it.
I like it. It's a good one.
Rage.
We have Hikori Dust Drinker. No. So Hikori Dust Drinker. This one might be a little too far. This is technically also a bear on our list, but it's a spirit. 2 double white for a 2/2. Legendary creature spirit. Lands don't untap during their controller's untap step. Beginning of each player's upkeep, that player untaps a land he or she controls. We don't need lands where we're going, boys.
I don't like where you're taking us.
Can you imagine how annoying it is to have this 2/2 spirit bear? There is a spirit bear on the card. It was foretold in the pictures. But just to Just to not like be able to untap your lands while you get bashed with Harsh Mentor. Hey, I swing Harsh Mentor for 5. I'm gonna aggravated assault that. Harsh Mentor, Hokori Dust Drinker for 7, or for, was that 8?
Who hurt you?
Everyone.
There's so many more ouchies in this list.
Don't even worry about it. We've basically, that's all of them. I'm pretty sure that's all the bad ones.
We're only at H.
Yeah, there's 37 creatures here.
I'm proud of this one. I'm proud of this deck for sure.
Please, who's next here in this? I
Oh,
already
goodness.
feel like crying.
Okay, we have Hollow Henge Overlord for 4 green. It's a wolf. It's a 4/4. It has flash. At the beginning of your upkeep, for each creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Wow.
You read that wrong. A 2/2 green wolf bear
Wolf
creature
bear.
token.
Ooh, I'd love to take the next one because I love this card. We've got our Jetmir Nexus of Rebel. This is a game ender for us, right? Because, you know, every time anyone plays a stacks deck, and I'm not saying that this is a stacks deck, I'm not confirming or denying what I'm doing. Every time someone plays a deck that has some of my favorite bears in the deck, we'll say, Jetmir is a way around the normal game not ending nonsense, right? So we've got a red, a green, a white for a 5/4 cat demon. And again, the stats on that are just cracked. Yeah, it's I don't know why they would get, like, Jetmir's really, really overstated, but creatures you control get 1/0 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures, and we will. Creatures you control get 1/0 and trample, and again, like I said, we need that trample, right? So that's again plus 2/0 vigilance trample now, and our commander's giving a +3. And creatures you control get 1/0 and double strike as long as you control 9 or more. So just for that simple math, let's say that I have a lot of creatures out. One of them is a Grand Abolisher. I swing with Grand Abolisher. It's now a 8/5 vigilance trample double striker.
Solid.
Right? Game's got to end sometime.
Yeah.
Lots of cats in this deck, Brian.
Wow.
Mao. I should make this for Kaylin and then just say this is her new cat deck. Cats and bears.
Slothy, please take this next hunk of garbage.
Sure. The next one we've got is Leonin Arbiter, 1 and a white for a 2/2 cat bear cleric. Players can't search libraries. Any player may pay 2 for that player to ignore this effect until end of turn. Yeah.
Even if you pay the 2 and he has the other garbage out, you can only search the top 4.
You know how funny it would be, though, if somebody did pay to get that search off? Like, I need to cultivate so bad, I'll pay it, and then they pay it, and then I even mind censor. Ooh. Ooh, who the bears?
Who the bear?
Ooh, the bears.
Oh, bad. And then we have Mages of the Moon, 2 and a red. A creature, human, wizard, non-basic lands are mountains.
This is a bear deck.
Yep.
I just didn't say what kind of bears.
I like it.
Then we have Manglehorn for 2 and a green. It's a beast that's 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact. Artifacts your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped.
This is I'm a bad friend tribal. I love this deck so much. I'm very proud of it. The minute we read Duskana from spoiler season, like the moment I saw that card, I was like, well, I'm building this as a stacks deck. I'm building this as a hate bears deck. And everyone the whole time, they're like, oh yeah, you know, it's going to be so great. You know, like Grizzly Bear does great. I'm like, for sure. I bet it does. I bet Grizzly Bear goes great in this deck.
I did not expect the new year to be like this, Daniel.
On Chinese New Year of all times. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. We have a Mentor of the Meek in case we don't have enough draw. A 2 and a white for a 2/2 human soldier, which does satisfy our bear conditions. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay 1 if you do draw a card. That's like our whole deck. That's like everything we do.
Human soldier bear.
Yeah, technically, It's not even an assault list. I'm just trying to draw with Mentor of the Meek. Slothy, you want this next one?
Sure. We've got Outland Liberator. 1 and a green for a 2/2 human werewolf. Human bearwolf, if you will. 1 mana, you can sacrifice it to destroy target artifact or enchantment, and it has Daybound. So it flips into Frenzied Trapbreaker, which is a 3/3 werewolf. You can pay 1 to sacrifice it and destroy target artifact or enchantment. Whenever it attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls, and it has Nightbound.
Yeah, not horrible, right? Bears at night.
For some reason, I wear my sunglasses at night. Popped into my head.
Corey Hart sunglasses at night. No. Brian, take it away here.
What do I get here? So we got Palace Jailer, 2 white, human soldier bear. When Palace Jailer enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. When Palace Jailer enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until an opponent becomes the monarch. 2/2.
I like it.
Yeah.
We're never gonna get monarch against him if he plays this. Like, how many stupid things will he have that's gonna block?
They're simply bears.
I will say, I do believe that is the idea.
I'm the bear monarch.
What? Oh, what's his next card here? The Sanctum Prelate for 1 white. Human cleric. It's a 2/2 bear. As it enters the battlefield, choose a number. Non-creature spells with converted mana cost equal to that chosen number can't be cast. Are you kidding?
You'll Cyclonic nothing. You'll Cyclonic Rift not a damn thing. You think there's a way out of this? Nope. There sure isn't. Oh, man, I love these bears. We have Skyclave Apparition, another great bear. 1 double white for a 2/2 core spirit. I need Emery to alter this whole deck into bear costumes. It's gonna
core spirit bear.
Yeah, exactly. This deck turns out to cost me $1,300 with alters. When Skyclave Apparition enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-land, non-token permanent you don't control with CMC 4 or less. When it leaves, the exiled card's owner creates an XX blue illusion where X is the card's CMC. So they're never getting it back, even if they get rid of this.
Yeah.
You become a really bad man.
No, Brian, you don't mean it.
I do.
Then we've got the Spawn Wraith, 2 and a green for a 2/2 elemental bear with trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a token that's a copy of Spawn Wraith onto the battlefield.
Oh.
Normally, you've got to buff that to make that good, right? 2/2 is not getting through, but a 5/5? A 5/5 is getting through a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's 2 5/5s, and then 4 5/5s, and then so many bears.
They're getting through because you're preventing any defense to what you're doing.
You don't leave your food out for bears, Brian.
I'm in the tree. I know my bear safety.
Exactly. You get it. Sherman, you take this next one because you haven't seen many of the 40k cards you said.
All right, cool. So we got Ultramarines Honor Guard for 3 and a white. It's a 2/2. It's a Astartes warrior. Has squad 2. Okay, what's this? As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may pay 2 any number of times. Oh, so it's like a kicker. When this creature enters the battlefield, create that many tokens that are copies of it. Ooh. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. Are you serious?
What a banger anthem to mana sink in 2 late game. And every one of them bear warriors.
So it's a multi-kicker anthem.
Ultramarine bears.
I'm off my meds. Yeah, no. If you can get like 4 or 5 of these out and going and stuff, then like you're just nuts, right? Like because again, the commander not caring about the actual power and only base power and toughness is such a unique thing. It puts us in such a cool place to like do stupid shenanigans like this. But realistically, we could have most of our bears up at like 8-9 with this before our attack.
My goodness. And this is not an expensive card either.
No,
It says here it's under $1.
Yeah, I know. It's a nice cheap
That's
one.
if you can find them.
They're starting
True.
to pop up more and more. People are taking these apart. Finally.
Mhm.
The Tyranid one you can't find a lot. Like you can't find Gearson Starn anywhere. That's everyone loves that card. The Gearson Starn Grape Shot goes silly with that. But like that, a lot of the Tyranid deck and the what is it, the Necrons deck, the Black Vehicles deck. I just still remember every time, like as a short like tangent aside, when I was buying those, I was like, I don't want a Black Vehicles deck. Like there's no, who's this for? What's the market for? It's the best pre-con I think I've played out of the box. I would say it's between that and the food deck. The Necron deck is the only deck I've never changed because it's so fun out of the box. It's crazy. I don't even, I can't even, if you miss the 40K stuff, I'll get you to play a game with it sometime, Sherman. It's so fun. It's and again, like I said, it's vehicles. I said what I feel about vehicles, but this deck changes it. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, I definitely got to grab that from you and play it.
Oh, you'd love that one. It's really fun. That and the Tyranid deck. I think I have a fully unedited one of the Tyranid decks too. I bought a second one of that because I wanted some of the cards for decks, and then I was like, well, I don't want to tear this apart. So I think I have I think it's just a sleeved, unedited Tyranid one too, which seemed like a really cool one. But I'm off track here. We have Vengeful Tracker, 1 and a red, and I'm really happy to see cards like this as well. It's a human detective 2/2, technically also a bear. Whenever an opponent sacks an artifact, it deals 2 damage to them. Get your treasure tokens. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Play away.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find me one of those.
Am I going to pay for Smothering Tithes? Nope.
Enjoy.
You'll pay for your Smothering Tithes. You'll pay. You'll all pay.
The next card that we do have here is Werefox Bodyguard. Bear Fox Bodyguard. Creature, elf, fox, bear knight, flash. When Bear Fox Bodyguard enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 other target non-fox creature until Bear Fox Bodyguard leaves the battlefield. 1 and a white. Sacrifice Bear Fox Bodyguard. You gain 2 life, and it is a 2/2.
I love this card. First off, it satisfies our bear needs.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you can use it defensively as well with the ability to so easily sacrifice it, right? Because you would never Fiend Hunter your own card, because then you'd have to get rid of the Fiend Hunter unless you're in a deck, right? But with this, I can just throw it away. So again, another way to pseudo blink my commander in and out if I need to, or my let's say Bane of Progress.
Would you say the bare necessities?
Yeah, exactly. It meets the bare necessities. Honestly, I'm proud of this one. I'm genuinely proud of this one.
Now I got Disney in my head. Bare necessities.
Hey, you better stop that. The mouse will come for you.
Yeah, right. Daniel has the power. He can take me. I didn't sing it better than what they did.
I'll zhuzh it up a little.
The next card we've got is Wolfgar of Icewind Dale. 3 red and a green for a 4/4 legendary human barbarian with melee. And if a creature you control attacking will cause a triggered ability of a permanent you control trigger, that ability triggers, oh no, an additional time.
Mega Bears.
That's +6/+6 on your bears.
It's pretty big. On each, we do have an extra combat in there. You could really easily. There's, I'll finish. We'll finish the list, and then I'll say it. Sherman, you want to take our last one on our list here?
No. This card does not exist. Okay, we have Zozu the Punisher for 1 red. The Goblin Warrior is a 2/2. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, as it tends to do in a game where mana is the source of power, Zozu the Punisher deals 2 damage to that land's controller. So it's an Ankh of Mishra.
Bear.
Bear.
It's a bear, goblin bear warrior.
Yeah.
Once again, I would like to point out the salt meter on this.
Nothing salty here. It's well above salty too. I like that.
Now, I'm going to direct this to Thunder. That's in the chat. Thunder, if you can respond, would you like to play against this deck?
It's a simple bears deck. We're just playing bears.
We are playing bears.
Yeah.
I like I was gonna say and stuff. This deck, there is so many different ways you can go with Duskana. Obviously, you could go with real bears. Nah. Hate bears is my theme. I was looking, by the way, I sometimes peruse some other content to see what's going on. There's no one's list like this one. I'll tell you that right now. If you tell everyone that you're playing your Duskana deck and, oh yeah, this is a bears deck, technically speaking, you have not lied to them. This
2.97 average mana curve.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. These junk cards are generally, like I said, there's no politicking with this kind of a list, but there is lots of really fun extra combat ways with Duskana where you're constantly triggering that +3/+3 are pretty crazy. Any of the cat token ways, like a White Sun Zenith, is great in this. There's a lot of really, really fun ways you can build this. You could build this just with raw bears with that. You could build it the way that it was intended with the face down cloak things. But none of that's going to be memorable. And I promise you that if you bring your bears deck to your playgroup, they will not forget.
So I'm looking at I'm actually on EDH, or no, sorry, your Archidect list. And I'm looking at the subtypes. There's one bear.
They're all bears. How dare you?
Actual card types, there's a single bear.
Who are you to say how they identify?
There's more clerics and humans.
You mean barracks? You mean barracks, Brian?
Oh man, this is great.
So the only bear is the commander.
That's really funny. There's not even one other one. Oh, Collar of the Claw, I guess, isn't even a bear. That's funny. That's too funny.
Duskana's like the wolf mother from Mowgli taking in all these friggin' refugees. Please come live with me. I will teach you to be salty at the world.
These are my orphan bears from the Salt Flats. Oh, proud of this list. This was the list that I got from the card store a month and a half ago, and it was not a cheap list. I was like, I just when I was getting these cards pulled, they're like, you mad at your playgroup?
I haven't played with them recently in standard.
It's been a while. I have to remember.
I need to start off the new year strong.
Oh man, I love this commander. Yeah, there's not too much else to say on it. I really liked how we went over this list. I didn't spoil this list to any of you guys. It's
no, you certainly did not.
It's pretty good. Everyone was so happy with the list. It was looking so friendly.
Until we got to the creatures.
It had promise. Shut up, Slothy. Shut up. I love you. Don't forget.
But you know what? I've wanted to build a stacks deck, but I didn't want to go in a direction where, I picked up a Lavinia, the renegade leader one that slows down the game to the amount of lands that people have. But I don't know. That still just seems a little bit too grotesque for me. But this seems I like this. I do like this, but I also, from a standpoint, don't like this.
If you're looking to build a stacks, I would highly recommend Derevi.
Everyone sees that coming. Everyone sees that happen. There's 31 of these creatures, I'm pretty sure.
Derevi bird tribal.
Bird bears?
Bird bears.
The, what's it called? There's I think 31 of these are going to trigger the commander, right? Because you also have to remember that number one, normally when you play like this, you're just slowing the game down and being annoying and obnoxious. And again, that's not super fun. At least this way you can kill people, because these things are 5/5s, right? Like you are still gonna really you're gonna run people over with this stuff. But you gotta remember, that's 31 creatures that are potentially that's before we get any of our tokens out or any of our Kamal summons things. Well, that's another thing. Now that we're at the end of the episode, now a little spoiler thing. I said that Kamal summons is my favorite card in this list because you reveal the creatures in your hand. And I live to threaten the table. So I love to Kamal summons. I'd say Kamal summons, I'm going to reveal 10 creatures. And everyone's going to have to just stare at me and be like, what?
Yes.
Yeah. I pass the turn. Scoop, scoop, scoop. No, please don't.
I scoop sorcery speed.
Untap upkeep. I am done. Yeah, no, this is a fun list. I'm happy with this one. But
one that I might recommend. This is just kind of one that can play around with because there are quite a few tokens that you can make. Eldrazi Monument, because on your turn there's still only 2/2s, so the crackback could be coming.
Oh yeah, the crackback's coming for sure.
Of flying and indestructible as well.
It's a good one, but as Salt does, I take my licks, if you know what I'm saying.
For Salt lick?
Yeah, exactly, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, no, this is like I said, it's a fun list. I've only gotten this one out into testing because you could tell I still have some friends, but once I get some real games with this, hopefully I can get this. I'd love to do, maybe on the next time we stream, I'll do the Elucin where I'm just donating. Then I'll, you know what, guys, that was a little too much. No donations. Let's bring it down. Just a nice little bear deck.
Yeah, you'll know when Dan has played this deck when it's just him recording.
Yeah, next welcome to the 99. I've got me.
Brian's being nice enough to actually produce, but he doesn't want to be on camera.
I'm joined with
I'll sit there, press buttons.
I'm joined with the voices in my head and the ghosts of my friendship.
You know what you should do? When Brian plays his Italian deck, it'd be like, I named 2. You play this deck, you play the Sanctum Prelate, and be like, I named number 2, so no one can play anything with 2 cost.
I'm happy you like this one, by the way, Brian, because I think if you're going to build a stacks deck, and this may just be because it's my stacks deck, I think this is the right way to do it.
No, I like the big strong. Well, again, I like creatures, and this has the power to kill people still. So I don't feel you're slowing the game down that much, because you're not sitting there like a typical stacks player trying to find all your pieces. With this, you're able to bears go forward.
Yeah, you're being aggressive, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think most people hate stacks decks just because not just because you can't really do anything, but it's you can't do anything and it takes a long time. At least with this, you're pummeling my face with 5/5s.
This is Oonga Boonga stacks with Gruul.
Well, that's 5 or more, because if he drops that squad and he has all of that mana,
True, he has anthems.
Yeah, they can be pretty huge. There's an anthem based deck, the new Cutzil, for instance, that would be a really cool one. There's lots where you can just you could go a Cathar's Crusade, buff them. The fact that it doesn't care about their current power toughness and only their initial is wild to me. That's such a weird line to have stapled on it, because then I can just buff them all the time, right? That the Ultramarines card isn't great minus for that, right? Because they're all power buffing the field and satisfying that 2/2 requirement that we want so badly in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have nothing else to say about this deck.
It's the rage, mother.
Oh, it's definitely gonna bring out the rage.
Oh, it's the rage. Literally, if you go back up, just look at that Duskana. That's how you have to stare at the playgroup when they ask you to stop. Just
it's please stop. No.
I need bright yellow. I need bright yellow contacts
to hear a high pitched buzzer as he stares into your eyes.
It's a cool list. I like it. Like I said, I'm pretty proud of this one. I would love to know what people think. If you built it like your playgroup, I'd love to also see those lists. Right? Like I think the Duskana is a really interesting build path with I love a versatile commander, right? Because if we had all built this, we'd all have very different decks, right? I don't think any of you guys would have gone this route.
Because we're not degenerates.
I may have had some of the cards because I have some of the cards, but I don't know. Like it all depends upon how I felt.
Brian, all your favorite cards can go in here.
I know.
All your Wheel of Sun and Moon, all your Seedborn.
Oh, being able to redo everything all over and over again. Oh.
Jokes aside, this is a really strong deck. This is like I would hate to go against this. I kid you not. I would really go against
this.
It's so strong.
There's not that we don't, Sherman.
It's this list I think is one that is gonna again. I haven't really played this one yet, so I can't say normally, but I think this one is gonna outperform my normal expectations of it because generally speaking, if you want to go really big and hit people really hard, there's a mana cost associated with that, right? So a lot of times you are trading power for utility. Like a Deep Known Terramancer is great, but it's taking a slot out of the deck for a bigger creature or a finisher, right? But we have all of our utility and annoying creatures are the finishers because of it, right? Like just the fact that we have again that the Deep Known Terramancer is a finisher. That's a 5/5 swinging at you when you're trying to do that. There's a lot of decks that can't deal with a 5/5, right? And then the same thing if we get that archetype of Courage out. Another, it's utility, right? Usually it's we've dropped a slot of something big and powerful to end the game with for our creatures are going to get first strike. But now this is a 5/5 with first strike, giving everything else first strike, right? There's a lot. And then you have to remember as well, your commander's just a raw 5/5 ready to also swing at people.
Yeah.
Oh, and your commander doesn't have to attack. You don't even have to risk your commander to swing this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just whenever a creature controls the base power and toughness 2/2 attacks, it gets 3/3. You do not have to risk your commander. It's very similar to an Impakal in that, where you don't have to actually you don't need to swing the commander. There's no risk at it. Because if it was when Duskana swings, then the solution is just I kill Duskana.
I'm surprised you don't, with all your blinking shenanigans. I'm really surprised that you don't have a Crater Hoof or the new white one, because I feel like those would be.
I don't run those.
But he doesn't need it.
I don't run those. Yeah, Brian. I run nonsense. This is a deck of shenanigans.
They're already big.
This deck's second.
Make them bigger, Sherman. You're not understanding the plan here.
Yeah, but they're already pretty big. The deck.
I don't settle down for pretty big.
The deck's second name should be Blink if you're being held hostage.
Or
I'm proud of this one. I really like this one, and I'm glad that you guys. I was going to say but I don't think is the right word. I'm glad you guys understand this list. Let's say that.
No, I think the proper statement is
myself.
I'm glad you guys stayed here through the entire episode.
You like this one, Slothy?
I do, yeah.
Yes.
You love stacks.
Right.
You're talking to a madman here.
Yeah. Sometimes it's fun. I think Dean would appreciate this list for once.
Yes.
It would actually put him on the aggro for once.
I just want to point out. The only reason why Slothy likes this is because he plays with salt and pepper shakers, and and he likes to make sure everything's seasoned finely.
Another fun thing about this deck is you could pretty easily switch it out to a Jetmir deck.
Mm-hmm.
You could just run Jetmir as your commander because again. It's still going to be an attacks matter deck, right? Where you can get your double strike and you're gonna get a lot of creatures. You're gonna be able to get Jetmir going with this.
Jetmir Secret Bears.
Yeah, exactly. I'm proud of this one. That's all I got to say on that one. I'm done there. Anyone else have any comments?
You took the words out of my mouth, Dan.
And with that, we roll credits. Thank you for bearing with us through the episode. If you liked, again, if you like what you hear, like, share, subscribe. It does definitely help us get noticed. Leave us comments and let me know how you would have built this. I'd love to see extra lists and stuff. You can message the Instagram or leave it in the YouTube comments. I like seeing different people's builds and takes on things. Come over and hang out on Patreon, where we do generally build these kind of decks, and we sit there and, get together, talk deck ideas, and just talk Magic in general. New videos come out every week, so check out into99.com for all of our content. You can find the podcast there. You can find everything there. Lots of great articles, lots of great people involved with this stuff. So really, really awesome. And thanks everyone who has taken the time to give the show a rating, like, subscribe. It does mean a lot to us. It does help us out. We love talking Magic, so we really appreciate it. I know this list might not make it seem like I love, but I love this community. So that's it. That's all.
Later.
Oh yeah, and Abyss Proxy Shop. Yes, Brian is that thing. If you want to make it, technically speaking, I know Abyss Proxy Shop is said that they are not taking commissions right now, but if you bug them enough, they will possibly create you an all bears themed of these cards. You just have to bug them enough. Promo code IT99 if you want a discount. Also does help us out. And yeah, that's basically it.
Get some cool proxies.
Yeah, you do actually get really cool proxies. That's where my Lucent came from. Really high quality stuff. So yeah, check that out. Go out to your LGS and support. And that's it. Show's done. But the hatred remains.